This is my first original content I've made in quite a while for Carp on the Fly. Wintertime carp fishing is incredibly tough, especially in my area of the world, Utah. Most days we're below freezing right now. But we did have some warm days, and I have a couple spots that I like to go where the water temperature stays warm enough. So that's where I was at for this. So we'll jump right into it here. First of all, it's real hard to see the carp. And this day I had a lot of different types of opportunities. So right here is kind of a classic drag and drop. This guy's slowly moving up the bank. Cast a little bit past him, pull it over, drop it in. He moved over and ate the fly. So here it is again, without zooming in on it so you can kind of see there. He moves over and he eats it, and we get the first fish of the day on. Classic drag and drop. What I was using here was a little black leech with a pink butt to kind of give it something a little bit more visible to be seen. So here's another shot here. You can kind of see the carp moving. The little pointer there was on it, the dark figure there. So you'll see the drag and drop right here. He moves over, eats, and there we go. So that's actually the same view of the fish. That gives you a better idea of the light conditions I was dealing with on the ground level. The actual camera that I've got mounted here on my shoulder is actually even a little bit higher than me. Now, it's not polarized, so I can see slightly better with the polarized glasses, but it's still difficult this time of year that you're looking for those kind of shadows, slow-moving shadows. Now, there was these weird events that were happening that made it a lot of fun where you'd see several fish rising. And that's what you just saw there. So, but this again here, I'm still using this little black leech with the pink butt. I'm going to say it's probably like a size 10 or 12 leech with just a little bit of marabou, pink marabou on the back end, just to give it a little bit of a hot spot for the carp to focus in on. That's how I started the day. Then you start seeing some of these fish rising. Like I said, there was these events happening where the fish would rise. Now, that one did hit subsurface on the little leech. But it was weird because you'd have these waves of carp that would start to rise. I honestly have no idea what it was, but I ended up switching back and forth between this little pink leech and a little... I was throwing a little mayfly. I threw a couple things. Honestly, I was struggling a little bit to get them to hit on the surface. But anyway, so there's that again. You can see that the difference in visibility, right? The drone is awesome because you can see so well what's going on. But from my perspective on the bank, man, it was tough to see the fish. It was really tough. So I was keying more on wakes and stuff like that, or the rising fish to see where they were at. I did see that one eat. So, but, there's some of these that I flat out just absolutely didn't see eat. So after I caught that last fish, and you saw that there were several rising with it, I sat down right here and I reset up with the dry fly just because I was curious, like, what in the heck was going on? And watched these guys for a while. So this right here was on a little mayfly. You see me cast out to it, dropped it right on his head. It's kind of a cool view of it. You see it come down right in front of him there, and he comes up and eats it. But then I'd have others that would ignore the mayfly. I tried a little caddis. I have like a little like pellet kind of thing that I've tied for places. I don't know, pellet. It looks like a little piece of dog food or something. And that was actually the closest thing to what I think they were eating. The only thing I could figure is there's these pods on top of some of these weeds. And this lake is rising right now. Some of them were coming off and they get a clump of those. And honestly, I don't know. I really don't know what they were eating. But, that worked. I threw various things at them. But nothing was like a gimme for sure. And that's winter carp fly fishing. It's tough this time of year to get them to cooperate. But it's a ton of fun when you can make it happen. So here, again, wind kicked up for a little while. Didn't see anything rising. I switched back to the little black leech with the pink butt here. And this is more, again, of your classic drag and drop tailing carp. So he was tailing. I dropped it in right there, kind of twitched it in front of him. And then he came over and he ate it right there. Yeah. So that's classic. Carp on the fly, a lot of fun. That drag and drop is so key to be successful for carp fly fishing for those that aren't doing this stuff. Some people say, well, why aren't you casting at the fish, or you're not very accurate. That I mean, maybe not, but the thing you want is you don't cast at the carp, you cast past the carp, and then you pull it in and let that float down in front of them. And I was using an unweighted black leech with that little pink butt. Great little fly. So right here, this one actually eats me twice, right? So I saw him start rising again. I threw on a dry fly really quick, so he actually eats it twice there, and I missed him both times. And there was a lot of that, and a lot of that they would come up and look, and then they wouldn't actually eat it. It was a little frustrating, but fun. The challenge of that is fun. So I have 3 moving in right here, and they come at me faster than I thought, and I actually got the one behind him that came up and ate it. I was going for the front 2. They're actually a little bit bigger fish here, but they turned right as I cast. They turned and came towards me. Luckily enough, and I'm not going to complain with anything this time of year. A 16-inch carp is fine with me. It's still fun. So, and I think that's about all that one was. But again, here, just so you can see again the difference. This is the middle of the day, but the light, in Utah this time of year, late December, January, we don't get a lot of light. So it was really tough to see. So right here, I have a huge pod that came up. These were all feeding just a second ago. So I throw it out in front of him. You see him come up and eat it there, or he kind of turned away at the last second and didn't get it in his mouth. And like I said, there was a lot of that going on. I just made it tough. Not only would they not eat it, but it was really difficult from the ground level to see them and to see what was going on. This is a whole pod right here where there was a little bit of rising. I couldn't get him to hit the dry, so I actually put the little leech back on right here. And so I was just kind of slow twitching it near the group there, and then I had this one come up and eat it. And that was a little bit better fish. I have some pictures of the fish at the end here, but again there I just wanted to show the difference in what I was seeing versus what I can see from the drone. Just a crazy difference there. So yeah, decent fish. I mean, none of these were real big. This place doesn't typically have real big fish. I think they poison it every couple of years, so you only get a couple of years of growth before they all get wiped out again, which is pretty unfortunate. But yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just what we deal with. Again, this is just kind of from my perspective in this whole, I didn't have the drone working here at the end of the day. My phone had actually run out of batteries, which I used to control the drone. So the rest of this, there was one rising right over on the bank, right there. And I actually, just inside and kind of twitched the fly inside of him, and he came in over and ate it. And then this is real cool. This is starting to get in the evening, and it the weather calms down completely. There's still a few rising. And so you can see him rising back there. I let him a little bit. You can kind of see him coming along, slowly feeding. And then there, he just sucked that fly in. Facing towards me too, which is the worst possible way. When a fish takes it, you set the hook. In that situation, a lot of times you're not going to connect. But it worked out okay. And you saw one rising right there. There was a little pod moving through there. So I dropped it in front of him, and he came forward and ate it, and I got this one. Actually, what's funny is I caught all these fish in the evening, and there's some pictures at the end here. These were definitely the biggest fish I caught. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Definitely solid fish right in the evening. And you can see it's getting darker and darker on all these. And this is probably a half-hour stretch here at the end where I kind of lit it up just because the carp are rising consistently. And here you go. So this is the last one. You can barely see. But yeah, there you go. I got one more. I could see slightly better than that. But you see solid fish. I mean, these are the ones that I caught there in the evening. A little bit bigger fish than I caught the rest of the day. These are all solid, 5+ pound fish. Well, that one's a smaller one. But most of them were a little bit bigger here in the evening. They all fought good. They were all real healthy. Yeah, just good fish and a lot of fun. And to have this kind of opportunity in the middle of winter, this particular day, the temperatures got up to around 40 degrees, which was fantastic. I wasn't freezing my eyelets. This spring-fed creek runs at about 70 degrees anyway, which makes these carp pretty active. So there was that last one there. Yeah, anyway, guys, it was a great trip. So thanks for watching. The rest of this is a montage I put together. Hope you enjoy it.